Is the LEGO Technic Material Handler set number 42144 overpriced at $150? Let's find out. Although it is nice that we are getting another pneumatic set, I don't think that this is the best adaptation of the system. But first, let's start with the box. It shows the material handler from a few cool angles, but there is nothing special about the box. Let's open it up and see what's inside. We get 3 numbered bags, a sticker sheet, as well as the instructions. I would also like to show you the brand new pneumatic cylinders. Besides the color, they are completely identical to the previous pneumatics 2.0 cylinders, and I wish that we got some longer pneumatic cylinders. The building process begins with the following Technic frame as well as the 2 axles sticking out. We connect a beam structure on top and a small chassis is forming. Next, we build up another frame similar to this. However, this one will have the steering mechanism. We connect the steering module as well as the gear rack, and we secure it with a 12th tooth gear setup. By spinning this axle here, we can see the steering mechanism in action. It is very simple, so it is quite easy to understand. Then, we connect 2 portions of the chassis, creating one big chassis. Following that, we add a few more pieces, and then we secure the outriggers onto the chassis. After that, we simply add the wheels. The wheels themselves are nothing special and are just connected onto some axles. So far, the model looks great. The second stage begins by building up the superstructure. We take this little beam structure and we connect the turntable onto the structure. After that, we build up this little frame and we simply connect it here. Next, we take the blue pump, add a few pieces onto it, and we secure it onto the tiny superstructure. Following that, we build up this panel module and it securely connects here. We add a few more pieces, and now it is time to build the panel for the other side, which just connects right over here. The next step involves connecting a few pneumatic tubes together, and we simply need to connect this to the pump. Following that, we need to connect all of these blue tubes onto the middle connector of each of these valves. After that, we need to secure the rear with a curved panel that was introduced in the 24 Hours race car of 2015. We need to start building the cabin, which begins with this shrimpy little module. We add a lift arm onto the module and then a blue seat. Next, we need to build a mechanism to raise and lower the cabin. We do this by building a worm gear setup. After we build this setup, we need to connect it onto the cabin. It securely connects with some pins and axles. Now, we can clearly see the cabin raising mechanism. It is quite effective despite being so simple. The cabin looks great now, and we attach it onto the superstructure. Then, we take the main superstructure and connect it onto the main chassis, merging the 2 structures together. The third stage begins with this brand new pneumatic cylinder, and we just need to connect a couple of pneumatic tubes onto the cylinder. We add this onto the superstructure, and we connect the tubes onto the respective valve. Then, we need to build 4 of these tube modules, and they simply connect onto the valves. After that, we can commence building the arm. We start with this tiny little module, which is actually the beginning of the claw. We add the claws, and so far, it looks great. In order to make the claw open and close, we need to build the following module, which looks pretty complex despite using simple pieces. Then, we connect this onto the claw. After that, we need to build the following beam structure, which adds 2 pneumatic cylinders. We connect the claw onto the arm, and then we build this beam structure which serves as the extension of the arm. We connect it onto the other module, and then we can add the whole arm onto the superstructure. After that, we build the following panel module, and we connect it on top, covering all of the pneumatic tubes. We secure it by adding some switches to control the pneumatic valves, and now we can finally take a closer look at all of the functions. So first, before doing anything, we need to extend the outriggers. It is a very simple mechanism, but on a practical level, it does not hold the model in place very well. However, it is still a nice feature nonetheless. Next, we can adjust the elevation of the cabin. It works by using a worm gear mechanism, and it is very similar to the mechanism found in the LEGO Technic EW160E excavator. I like this function a lot since it adds something extra beyond just the pneumatics. The pneumatic functions are easily the best aspects of the set. It is so much fun controlling the arm. The claw can hold some pretty heavy objects such as rocks, and the claw can still release them very easily. The arm is controlled by these 3 valves. The one on the left is responsible for the lowest pneumatic cylinder, the one in the middle controls the middle cylinder, and the one on the right controls the claw. Take a very close look at how the claw works. Unlike other sets, the tiny cylinder isn't right in the claw. Instead, it is pretty far away, controlling a set of Technic beams, which then connects to the claw. The mechanism is quite fascinating to watch. The controls here are quite easy to master, and the playing experience feels very ergonomic in the pneumatics department. I think that where the ergonomics lack heavily is the steering. The steering gear is located in the front, right where the steering mechanism is itself. This makes using the steering extremely uncomfortable. Normally, the steering gear is on the opposite side of the steering mechanism, but on this set, it is on the same side. And even if you turn the superstructure around so that the steering is now at the back, it is still uncomfortable to use. The steering gear should have been placed in a better location. I will definitely be modifying this set so that the steering gear is on the opposite side of the mechanism. Of course, you can also spin the superstructure a full 360 degrees, and actually an infinite number of degrees, since the chassis and the superstructure are not connected in any way, shape, or form, besides with the turntable. If you're enjoying this video so far, and you would like to get my review of the LEGO Technic Airbus H-175 rescue helicopter tomorrow, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. No pressure though. No pressure. Speaking of pressure, I think that a huge missed opportunity with this set is an air tank. This set is $150, and having an air tank would have justified the price a little bit better. The right side of the superstructure has a loose panel, which can be opened and closed very easily. I wish that it were connected more securely. I also do not like this gap here at the back. I feel like by adding a few extra beams or rearranging the panels, this could have been covered up pretty easily. Besides that, in terms of aesthetics, this set looks like a beast. I love the red color scheme, it makes the set quite unique. One thing that this set lacks is powered up motor upgradeability. I wish that with the basic powered up box as well as a medium motor, maybe with the help of an accessory box, this set could integrate the battery box into the chassis and the motorized pneumatic compressor into the superstructure. There is plenty of empty space inside. This set really feels like a downgraded version of the LEGO Technic EW160E. The steering gear is in the wrong place, there is no motor upgradeability, and it is quite overpriced at $150. The heavy-duty tow truck released last year retailed for the same price of $150. It contained nearly 2.5 times more pieces, and it had way more functions. The heavy-duty tow truck is overall a much better deal than the material handler. This set still has some redeeming qualities though. Let's take a look at these in my list of pros and cons. For the pros, we have the new pneumatic components, which are always welcome. We also have the phenomenal pneumatic functions. They work great, they're easy to master. We also have the awesome color scheme. I love it whenever LEGO Technic uses a bunch of red panels and just having an overall red color scheme that is very nice and it looks very beautiful. But what about the cons of this set? Well, of course, we have the lack of motor upgradeability. This is a huge missed opportunity, especially at that $150 price tag. Many previous pneumatic sets could be upgraded with a motor as well as a battery box, and so I wish that LEGO Technic kept the trend of having their pneumatic sets be motor upgradable. And also another major con of the set is that $150 price tag. I feel like this is very overpriced. At most, this set should cost $100. $150 is just way too much, especially considering that the heavy-duty tow truck retailed for the exact same price, but it provided you with a much better value. Will you be getting this set on August 1st? Please let me know down in the comments below. This is your Unbrick Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.